One last glance in a taxicab. Images scar my mind. 4 weeks felt like years, since your full attention was all mine. Exterior, daytime. Slightly windy, remains of rain. We're in a fairly dingy subdivision in Fredericksburg, Virginia, just a little southwest of D.C. Michael's back is to a rental van, his arms around Sarah. Their foreheads touch. Michael, thinking, can I say it? Can I? Say it. Say it. Cut. Interior, black. No picture, just sound. Alicia, Sarah's mother, obviously through a phone. Did you guys get in a fight or something? Michael, also on phone. No, we've been doing really good. Why? Cut. 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 The night was young and so were we. Talked about life, God, death, and your family. Did not want any promises, just my undivided honesty. And you said... The buzzing stops. Dude, you okay? You're not fainting on me, are you? Tinny bootleg Mudvayne screeches from the radio in the corner. It's hot. Huh? No, I'm fine. I'm just kind of falling asleep here. It's relaxing. A moment of silence, then the tattoo needle starts buzzing again. I've asked practically everyone I know about this whole tattoo thing. I find it ridiculous. There's pretty much nothing I'd want on my flesh forever. Yet I'm here doing it, and in one of the, I've been assured, most painful places possible, the back of the neck, right at the top of the spine. Yet, oddly enough, it doesn't hurt. Not a bit. It really does feel relaxing. The hum, the gentle massaging pressure, even the mini cacophony from the boombox. Plus, Sarah's close by. I've always gotten a sense of inner peace from her presence. She looks concerned. I'm fine, I reassure her. She's already gotten hers done. She's asked if we could get matching tattoos to show that we'll always love each other, even if it's nothing more than that. As I say, I find the idea of a tattoo fairly ridiculous, but I have nothing against the idea. We've been friends and a little bit more for over a decade. I see no reason why it won't continue, and if it'll make her happy, I'm fine to do it. Eventually the tattoo's finished, and we head out into the bright day. We go and get our supplies and giggle over the idea of my mother finding all the lubricant and bloody bandages, wondering what she might think. Once we're home, she asks to see mine. It's still drying. I know, I just want to peek at it. She does, and she seems upset. What? Here. She looks for a hand mirror, can't find one, and tells me to come into the bathroom. I do. She tells me to look in the mirror at mine, then look at hers. They're tiny red hearts, a small white teardrop in each. What is it? I ask, fearing some sort of blood disease is obvious on mine. Yours looks better, she complains. I squint, eyeing mine in the mirror, planting it firmly in my memory. I turn her around and peel the gauze back from her neck. I stare at it, the mirror. She's right. Oh, things are going to change now, for the better. Oh, things are going to change. We had 2 huge bumps in our relationship. The first, Sarah just seemed more interested in pot and her pot-smoking boyfriend than anything else on the planet. Oh, and Nintendo, whilst high on pot. Later, she would chide me whenever I'd bring this up, claiming she was not really high that often, that she'd only smoked out like some dozen times in that whole 4-month period. Perhaps I'm misremembering. Perhaps my annoyance overshadowed everything. Why annoyance? About 3 months before, she'd broken up with her longtime boyfriend, Chris, whom she never really seemed to like much anyway. She told me about how upset she was, about how she was convinced she was a one-guy type of girl, that her first would be her only, marriage would follow, etc. It was strange and disturbing to me to hear someone talk that way, but I just chalked it up to the fact that I was more bizarre than most people. In any case, she seemed so disheartened, so upset, that I of course did not immediately ask her out, although I wanted to. We'd been such close friends, talked about everything, no holds barred, that I figured it was at least possible she liked me 1/10 as much as I liked her, which would be more than enough for a relationship. I figured 3, 4 months later I'd ask, give her some time to heal. Well, in less than a month she was dating this pothead dude. He wasn't a bad guy, but, like 3 years younger than her and a pothead. Nothing terrible, just not what I'd wish for the woman I wanted to be my girlfriend. There was one day that was particularly bad. I tried telling her about my college plans, about how I'd had to change them last minute because of my then girlfriend, about how emotionally distraught I was. She just kind of grunted assent for a half hour or so whilst playing Nintendo and acting high. Finally, disgusted, I just mumbled something like, "Okay, well, I'll see you," and left, and didn't talk to her again for about 9 months. No, wait, that's not quite true. At some later point, it must have been around May, but I have no clue how far into the 9 months that was. I saw her briefly at graduation, my high school's, which I was not a part of. I'd dropped out. I skipped out early on my job and drove the 3 hours to get to the ceremony because I wanted to give a rose to the one person from my class who'd bothered sending me an invitation, not Sarah. The guy who was supposed to cover for me, though, forgot he had to come in early, and so I didn't get there until the damn thing was 99% over, probably a blessing except for the drive. I ran up and gave Missy, yes, Missy, I'm from Missouri, goddammit, her flower, talked to her briefly, then went to leave. I saw Sarah on the way out back, smoking. "Hey, I meant to send you an invitation, but I lost it." "So, you didn't send me one?" "Well, I lost it." I walked off. I got a letter from her in the mail 9 months later, like a 7-page letter about how she'd missed me and she'd changed a lot and could we maybe be friends again. When I saw her return address, my heart skipped, leapt, all the old cliches. I gasped for air and began writing her back that night. We exchanged huge missives, near Russian author-style tomes on everything from love to sex to money to dreams to bands we liked. I still have all her letters to this day. Cut. Michael, on phone. "Why do you ask?" Alicia. "We haven't seen her. She went for a walk last night and I haven't seen her since." Michael, on phone, a little taken aback. "I remember that one time she got lost trying to find your house. Do you think that could have happened again?" Alicia. "For 24 hours? I am the patron saint of lost causes. A fraction of who I once believed change." Our high school used to do this thing. It was for the March of Dimes, this thing where for 25 cents you could send a candy cane to someone. For 25 cents, they could find out who it was from. Just a goofy little thing. I don't know why. I assume she must have offhandedly mentioned at one point that she liked candy canes. But there got to be this tradition where I would send her candy canes, Lots of candy canes, like $5 worth a day for the week it went on. I don't know what the March of Dimes does, but they sure as hell must have done a lot of it while I was a student at that school. I was a geek, socially awkward, so sue me. It was the only passive-aggressive way I could think of to show I cared. Our junior or senior year, I remember one day for Spirit Week they had a grunge day, which pissed both of us off. As big fans of the grunge movement, we just found it horribly annoying that it had been turned into a fucking school spirit motif. So we decided that on grunge day we'd come in nice clothes, a suit jacket and slacks for me and a dress for her. That day I was violently ill and nearly couldn't walk, I was so weak. But I'd promised her, so I chugged about 3 gallons of Pepto and made it to school for our last hour, which we shared, Spanish. It felt like a victory, I suppose. She really hated U2's discotheque. I still have no idea why, but the mere mention of it would send her into paroxysms of anger. After she'd broken up with Chris, I urged her into buying a Legends of the Fall poster with a half-shirted Brad Pitt. She thought he was hot in the pic, but said Chris never would have let her have it. Well, now you can, I said, and eventually she agreed. On the phone, she tells me, "The other day Patrick was driving me home, and I called you my boyfriend." She's questioning, slightly fearful. I give a slight, sarcastic chortle. Chortle is a stupid word, but I do a vocal smirk if you can dig. That's fine. Did you really think I'd get upset? You know, in a lot of ways, you really are my boyfriend. I know. She seems happy. It's only a matter of time. Opinions I would try and rewrite. If life had background music playing your song. She's so slight. We're dancing. It must be 8th grade or so. I look like a serial killer in training at this point in my life. Really, only Chris's friendship later will mold me into something resembling human. Amazingly, we're dancing. It seems unreal, impossible. Sadly, the now me doesn't remember the song. I hate high school dances, but I pretty much go just to see her in a dress, and some sort of unrealized, vague hope that some wild adventure like what might happen in an ABC movie of the week, or even something in the theaters with like a Michael J. Fox wannabe in the lead role, would occur, and we'd all end up getting stranded and laugh a lot and be scared and learn things about ourselves and meet the sunrise with clothes that were torn in parts and share a kiss that would definitely lead to a relationship post-credits. Seriously, these sorts of things whirl through my head all the goddamn time, and that's not even the tip of the iceberg. Her dress is black, and the material I'm touching with my hand, oh God, just millimeters from her flesh, is some sort of slick black substance. Not vinyl, I don't think. Like a sheer thing over a slip-like material. I know jack shit about materials unless it's silk, really. Maybe satin covered by some sort of veneer. This is where I belong, I think. No, that's bullshit. I know what I was thinking. The same thing I always thought when I was close to someone else's personal space. Dear God, please don't let me fall on them. We talked the whole dance. I'm so nervous, I'm surprised my heart doesn't burst from my chest, grab my lapels, and make ransom demands. Horrifyingly, thankfully, the song ends. Text, white on black. 2 days later. Letters fade and we're left with black. Alicia, on phone. They've organized a ground search. I just wanted to let you know, Michael. Okay, thanks. I have got to be honest, I tried to escape you, but the orchestra plays on and they sang. The other bump, of course, was the suicide attempt. It was my fault. I don't blame myself, I just take responsibility for it. You can say, oh, it's not your fault, you didn't make the choice to run the blade over her skin, or whatever. But in the end, it's splitting hairs. It's like saying if I shoot someone in the head, oh, it's not your fault, you didn't shove the bullet through his skull and into his gray matter. That would make it your fault. Thomas Aquinas, the prime mover and all that. You can follow any effect back to the same old fucking cause. But you've got to take responsibility for shit you've done. At least I saved her. So, happy ending, right? She rolls her eyes at the note. 1. She hands it to me. I look it over. It's a date, time, etc. for a party being thrown by someone she knows. It's signed J.D., name omitted to protect the innocent. There's a P.S. P.S. Will you have sex with me? Think about it. How odd, I say. Who's it from? Some kid beside us asks. She sits in front of me in social studies. J.D., she says. On one hand, I'm thinking, dear God, this is crude and bizarre and just another symptom of how fucking morally vacuous this shithole truly is. I was over at his house once, the kid says. He's so fat, he had to have his brother wipe his ass for him. No response to that. On the other hand, I'm thinking, man, I wish I had the balls to write something like that. Any chance she'd say yes? Music was so important to both of us. I remember when we went to a Bush concert, I mainly went because Veruca Salt was opening, but we got bad directions and wound up there only in time to hear one song from them. She seemed to dig it. What I remember mostly about the trip, though, is all the pot and the guy who tried to inculcate us into his hippie cult. He gave us some literature. It cost $1, but it was well worth it for the comedy. They were called the Zendik tribe, and for the next 3 months we both referenced how we nearly became Zendik warriors. The last night she was there, that visit, she wrote me a note, and I don't know if she put it in a hyperbaric time capsule or some bullshit, but I didn't find it for months. It was just a sweet little note saying she'd had a good time at the Bush concert, and she hoped I had a good time at college. I wanted to ingest that goddamn piece of paper. Oh, things are going to change now, for the better. And oh, things are going to change. She cradles his head in her lap. He coughs, staring up at the underside of her chin. He thinks there should be blood coming from his mouth, for dramatic effect. Sadly, there's not. They really kicked the shit out of you, she says, half laughing. He finds it ridiculously surreal that she's lighting up a cigarette at this time. Yeah, he responds, uncertain of where to go with that line of conversation. You two keep getting in fights like that, you're going to get killed one of these days. Suck. Drag. Hazard of the trade, Clark says, curled in the corner. Bet there's blood on his lips, Bruce thinks. He actually got punched in the mouth. And what's that? What's your trade? We're superheroes, they say in unison, and they all laugh at that. Bruce, however, has to turn over in the middle because of the wrenching pain. No, that was just a scene from a book I wanted to write, based on us in a very large part. Originally, it was two separate stories. The Columbine story, but done with Chris and I as the main characters, with us being, heroic losers acting as superpositions in a world that didn't want us, rather than like psychotic Hitler-obsessed fucks. The other story was something about Sarah and I, just the whole different side of the tracks thing, romantic and all that. Then I realized I could meld them. Maybe I'll write it someday. Cut. Michael, on phone. Hey, is Sarah around? Lou, Sarah's adopted father, on phone. No, she's probably downstairs. Let me go check. Time passes. Can't seem to find her. Maybe she's outside? Michael, on phone. Oh, crap. Maybe you should call Alicia. Sarah was acting really upset earlier today, and no. That didn't happen either. Cut. Sarah, on phone. Hey, honey. Michael. Oh, thank God. I was so fucking worried, baby. I was thinking the worst. Sarah. I know, it's so no. Not that either. This is paraphrased because I can't find the goddamn quote. I think you have to be at least somewhat schizophrenic to be a good writer. From Dave Sim. Hands like secrets are the hardest thing to keep from you. Lines and phrases like knives your words can cut me through. Dismantle me down. Repair. You dismantle me. You dismantle me. She makes me feel like a little kid a lot of the time. Even as a little kid, I didn't feel like a little kid. She sits near me, and I feel my skin tingle. Just the nearness of her presence is enough to give me a pleasant buzz. Maybe this is just a side effect of no sleep. Watching her legs as we try to sell magazines for school. So pale, so smooth. I keep offering for her to walk ahead of me. Don't worry, I'm not going to get into her sex life or anything. One of her therapists once told us we were the healthiest couple she'd ever seen, which is possibly a very sad statement if you consider that we were pretty much sliding headlong into a breakup at that point. We really did have a goofy sort of camaraderie, though. Maybe that's why I was so ashamed and/or embarrassed at times, because nobody else got us. Mostly, though, I'm sure it's because I'm uptight and still under the impression that nobody wants to see an unprofessional side of me. In public, I constantly strive to be upright and presentable, because I feel it's the only thing I've got going for me, besides my humor. She thought it was romantic to be sung to. I felt ungodly uncomfortable about it because I'm tone deaf. I cannot sing. I know this. I do not subject people to it unless they're riding in my car. They don't have to pay me gas money, but they have to put up with me at least mumble humming along to Coheed and Cambria. But she didn't care. She thought it was romantic. So I did this stupid, no, not stupid I guess, but ridiculous at least, thing for supposedly Christmas. It turned into a Valentine's gift instead because it took so fucking long to get done. But I downloaded karaoke songs I knew and recorded me singing about 7 CDs worth of them. They're horrid, of course, though I'll admit some are at least amusing. But she loved it. She cried when listening to some of it. I think at Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here, though I could be completely wrong. I just wanted to do something to prove to her that I really did care, that I was willing to push past being embarrassed and feeling goofy to show her how much I loved her, like the email I sent my mom telling her I was dating Sarah. I never informed my mother of my dating choices because she's so hypercritical. I'm pretty sure it got through, at least a little bit. Give me time to prove. Prove I want the rest of yours prelude. Call this a prelude to a lifetime of you. I'm not into marriage. I just don't get it. I understand how, in certain conditions, like with Chris, it could be necessary for power of attorney, shit like that. But overall, I just don't like the concept. Why? Well, there are only two parts to a marriage, religious and governmental. Religious, I'm an atheist. End of story there, pretty much. Why involve Jesus in my relationship? Governmental, I'm pretty libertarian, so the idea of the government changing parts of my tax code and bullshit like that just because of who I choose to spend my life with drives me batshit insane. I explain this to her. I try to convince her that, even though I'll probably never propose unless bullied into it, that doesn't mean I take us any less seriously. In fact, I probably take it more seriously. I think totemizing a union of two minds with a piece of paper takes away some of its power, leaves it meaningless and powerless. Also, I believe in polyamory, which makes the whole marriage thing pretty difficult, but she's Ms. Monogamous, so I'm trying my damnedest to shut off that part of myself. I try to explain all of this. I do. Multiple times. But, she's one of those girls. She wants a ring, damn it. When we broke up, she gave me a ring. I was going to ask you to give this to me, but I want you to take it. I think it belonged to a relative of hers or something. Someday, when you find the woman you decide to spend the rest of your life with, give this to her, okay? Whatever, I say and shake my head. No, please? Tired. So tired of feeling like all I do is hurt her. I assent and take it. While she's not looking, I sneak it into one of her makeup kits she never uses but refuses to throw out. One day, I think, I'll grab that out and give it to her. That'll sure as hell surprise her. Because, there will most likely be other women, I assume. There will even be women I have sex with, relationships with, very likely even women I get along with better and have a deeper, fuller line of communication with. But in the end, no matter what, she's always going to be my baby. It's not that I hang on every word. I hang myself on what you repeat. It's not that I keep hanging on. I'm never letting go. Can you go in and check? Check what? I'm already frightened out of my wits. The idea of standing and turning the corner into the kitchen scares the hell out of me. Sarah's boyfriend, Chris, and 3 other metalhead dudes disappeared there, and now all I hear is muted chuckles. He promised me he wouldn't smoke any more pot. I'm worried he might be. I don't even know what pot looks like. I guess it's like a cigarette, though? I guess. I steady myself. Eventually, I work myself up to the point where I can stand. I wander into the kitchen. They're all standing around, whispering. It's really rather odd. But there's nothing lit between them, no cigarette-like piece of evidence. I guess in a way I'm hoping there would have been. Maybe that would be the straw that breaks the camel's back, that makes her break up with him, and then I can make my move. After a respectable mourning period, of course. But no, it looks as innocent as four guys in ripped Metallica shirts standing around whispering and giggling in a greenish suburban kitchen can look. I head back. No, I didn't see any drugs. Okay, good. Look at me, I'm screaming in my head. Please, feel how much I love you from my fucking brainwaves. She doesn't. We keep talking. I shift in my seat a lot. Oh, shush, Albie. Either jump or don't. Albie! Albie, be quiet. You know, he never used to talk until you made him. How did I make him? By hanging out with him all the time. Is that so bad? No, I guess not. Albie, shut up. Albie! Okay, the next case is... She's trembly beside me, as usual whenever she's nervous. I grasp her hand and give her a calm smile. This will take 10 seconds and be seamless, I'm sure. Her grandmother, the source of about 90% of Sarah's paranoia, I'm convinced, rather than any illness, sighs worriedly on the other side of her. Sarah Burkett, could you come forward, please? She looks at me, frightened. I nod at her, and she heads up to the front of the courtroom. The judge asks her maybe 2 questions, asks if anyone has reason she shouldn't change her name, and it's done. She's now officially Sarah K. Amber Scott. Scott is Lou's, and now her mom's, last name. The best part of this process is that she had to fill out a waiver of impecuniosity to sign up for getting her name changed because it costs some ridiculous amount. Thanks to my classics degree, I immediately know impecuniosity means without money. Hands like secrets are the hardest thing to keep from you. Lines and phrases like knives your words can cut me through. Dismantle me down. Repair. You dismantle me. You dismantle me. Sound effects. Harsh, bone-breaking click of a light being turned on. We're in a dingy bathroom filled with dirty clothes now. Unwashed light bulb casting dingy light onto a pretty disheveled Sarah, her red hair more wavy and stuck at odd angles than usual. She looks dazed. Sarah, we can see she's on the phone. Honey, I'm in trouble. Michael, on the phone, driving. At some point here, he arrives at the Walmart parking lot. What's the matter? Something's wrong. I can't wake up. I just feel like I can't wake up. What do you mean? Are you maybe just tired? No, I thought I might be because I didn't sleep last night, but I tried to nap, and I didn't feel tired at all. I don't know what it is. I just can't wake up. I can't wake up. Do you think this is some sort of pill thing? Maybe. I missed them again Saturday and Sunday before Mom and Dad got back. And you missed them the week before I got up there. That could be it, maybe. I just can't wake up. I can't wake up. I tried waking myself up, but I can't wake up. There's gotta be something you can do. I don't want them to know. They can't know. Who, your parents? Yeah, anyone. I don't want anyone to know. I don't want to be a bother. Honey, you're not. I can't be a bother. Not now. And I don't want to hurt myself. I really don't. But I just keep thinking it would be so easy. It would be so easy to do. I just can't wake up. Maybe if you... Her repetition has really started to scare me. The last time she was this repetitive was when she woke up post-suicide attempt. This has me pretty convinced this is some sort of pill thing. I wonder if something happened between her and her parents, some sort of confrontation that's making her feel like a nuisance. Okay, look, fuck that. I was going to try to suggest some things to ground yourself, but first you've got to promise. You'll call whenever you get treatment. You need a professional, honey. But I can't get down there. I can't. Then at least call, honey. Talk to someone. If they realize how much trouble you're in, maybe they can at least advise something. And what about Terry? I know you don't want your parents to know, but what about her? Maybe. If I could just wake up. But it's like I'm outside my body, 2 steps behind. Honey, call your therapist or your psychiatrist. Betty, isn't it? No, Betty's my caseworker at my job. Oh, right. Well, call somebody there. I don't want to be a bother. You're not bothering her, honey. You're asking her to do her job. She's not going to be put out by someone she's giving therapy to, asking for therapy. Okay. So, like, the only little things I can think of are maybe, like, have you tried slapping yourself around? Yeah, and it didn't do any good. Well, you're in the bathroom, right? Maybe try splashing some cold water on your face. Maybe you need an intermediary, something to touch you that's not you, like how you can't tickle yourself. Okay. She tries it. Okay, I feel a little better now. I feel more grounded. Good, good, honey. Now please call them. I will. I'll try to talk to someone. Okay, I gotta go. I'm at Walmart, but call me if you need anything, okay? Okay, love you. Love you too. Talk to you later. Bye. Bye. Text. 2 hours later. Hey, honey, I'm sorry I missed your call. What's up? Terry's giving me a ride. We're just about to go. I called and couldn't get a hold of anyone, but we're going to go up and try to talk to someone at Snowden. Okay, good luck, honey. Let me know what happened, okay? Okay. You do know there's a chance I won't call back, though, right? That I'll be gone? Yeah, 3 days? If you have to get checked in, just call me when you can. I don't think they can... I don't know what... If I can just make it through today, I think I'll be all right. If I can just make it through today, I'll be okay. I just can't wake up. Oh, that's Terry. I gotta go. Okay, love you. Talk to you soon. Just know that I love you, okay? If today has taught me anything, it's who my real friends are. And I know I can trust you. The hell is she talking about? There must have been something that happened between her and her parents. I'll ask later. Okay, honey. No, you mean a lot to me. Same to you, honey. This always annoys me when she treats the fact that she loves me like this newfound concept. It's cute, but she always seems somewhat annoyed that I don't gush the same way. I mean, obviously I'm in love with her, and it's not like I don't tell her or send her lots of silly gifts, etc. I just feel like saying things like, I really trust you, or givens. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye. Call me. Love you. Love you too. Cut. Exterior. Day. Michael's workplace. He walks to the door. His phone rings. Yeah? Alicia, upset. Hi, Michael. This is Alicia. They found Sarah. She is... What? What was that? Michael has sat down with his back to the wall of the building. She is dead. They found her body out by the woods. Was she... What happened? She just found a little hiding place in a ditch by the woods, settled in and took her pills, and then she just went to sleep. Faintly, because of the sun's light, we see the tears slide down Michael's cheeks. Thanks for calling me. Don't blame yourself, Alicia. Don't let anyone else blame you either, okay? Okay. Call if you need to talk. Michael sobs. Okay. Michael hangs up. Eventually, he stands. Save me from myself. Save me from myself. Help me save me from myself. Save me from myself. I feel like Frankenstein's monster, living beyond its time on Earth. We belong dead indeed. I feel like the bottom of the ninth in a losing game. Like, if you're the losing team and you bat the top of the ninth and don't score, do you still play the bottom of the ninth? No, of course not. There's no point. You can't accomplish anything necessary. It's a given. It's obvious. There are rules for this. I remember once, when I was younger, wishing I was immortal. I wanted to see the changes we'd go through, where the world would be long into the future. See if we encounter alien life, fuck ourselves over, the world really does end in late 2012. You know, the usual. Maybe this is penance for that. Maybe some force, God or whatever, has cursed me. This is immortality, it's saying. Watching everything you care about pass away. Not necessarily that I believe it, but you can't help but wonder. At least with Chris, my best friend, not Sarah's ex-boyfriend, I could hold his hand. I wasn't there at the exact moment he passed away, but I know a friend was, telling him a Star Wars story. Sarah died alone in a ditch less than a mile from her home, hiding like a wounded dog, and I couldn't even hold her hand. Do I feel responsible? No. In the end, I'm still about 95% convinced it was just a stupid pill thing, that if she'd gotten on track or been tranked for a couple of days, she'd have been fine. But, you know, sometimes you get the bear and all that. The other 5%, though, of course, can't help but think, if only I'd provided her a better alternative, if only she believed in the future I was trying to offer her. I know it was a couple of years off, but it was real. It just wasn't enough. Frustrating that 5% of me constantly has the floor in the debate room of my head. I miss you, honey. Head against her head. He says it. You're the love of my life. They kiss, mumble goodbyes. He gets into his stupid fucking rental minivan that he paid too much for, drives away to the airport. Oh, things are gonna change now, for the better. And oh, things are going to change.